A trail leads to the desert landscape, and cacti and boulders obscure my view on either side. The ground is rocky, and dust kicks up with each step I take. As I continue up the path, I can see the three peaks of the Casa Demonio mountains in front of me.
Demonio.
I'm heading towards the town of Echo, just over those mountains. As I get closer, I notice that the trail branches off towards the side of the mountain. I follow the trail with my eyes into the hazy distance, almost disappearing into the heat waves. Still, I can make out a small dark hole. The mine. Some things should just be left alone. Dust swirls silently at the mouth of the mine, almost sparkling in the bright noon light. Every single person here. Something seems to pulse out of the entrance, sending an almost invisible wave through the air. You will never escape. You always come back. Red seeps from the hole, running up the side of the mountain in a wave, turning rock and dust the color of blood. You will always be running in circles. I start jogging up the trail, panting in the desert heat, not sure what I'm doing. The sky in front of me lights up that same ominous red color in the direction of Echo. Somehow I'm able to scale the side of the mountain in just a few seconds. I get to the peak and look over the edge. I see the town, but it's not the town I remember, at least not all of it. Lake Emma is in the distance to the left. The motel and supermarket are to the right. But the ruins by the lake aren't just old foundation remnants anymore. They're fully standing now with their log walls and roofs. Several dozen more houses run up the side of the lake, standing in stark contrast to the more modern buildings further away towards Main Street. There are even a few buildings that I don't recognize, and there, just below me, is Carl's house. But it's different. The mansion is bigger, the walls are lighter color, it looks older. Somehow I'm already there. Like I just teleported straight down to stand on the road in front of Carl's house. I stare down the slope towards the town, and there, next to the road, is a wooden platform built out under a tree. There's a rope hanging from the tree. A noose. I look back down at the town, at all the different buildings. No matter which structure I'm looking at, one thing's the same. They're all lit up blood red. I watch as what looks like spinning blades comes slowly into focus above me. I tense up but only for a moment as I realize what it is. A ceiling fan. Wait. A ceiling fan? Isn't that... I sit up quickly, only to immediately swoon as the room starts to spin around me. I grip onto whatever I'm sitting on, and it happens to be soft and smooth. I look down and see that I'm on top of a blue comforter. To my left, Jenna, Raven, and Carl are stretched out next to me on a king-sized bed. To my right, sunshine streams in from sliding glass doors, outside of which is a massive deck. Past that porch are the mountains and desert of Echo. We're back. Oh my god, we're back. Guys! Guys! I shake Carl next to me. He immediately swings a hand to slap at me, but I persist until he's forced to sit up, glaring around. Jenna and Raven stare next to him.
What happened?
Guys, we're back. We're in your house, Carl. Carl finally snaps his eyes open at that. Raven sits up next to Carl, and I see him sway with the same dizziness that I had earlier.
Where are we? My parents' room.
A relief like I've never known before flows through my body. Whether or not it was a dream, or a hallucination, or we were drugged somehow, it doesn't matter. What matters is that we're home. Well, in Echo at least. I look over at Jenna, hoping to see her back to her old familiar self, but I find her staring around suspiciously, that dark look still in her eyes. Carl isn't much better. His eyes also on Jenna with a similarly dark look. Maybe that would take a long while to wear off. I slowly push myself off the bed, the height of it making it more difficult for my feet to reach the ground. I touch down with my good foot, and I'm a bit surprised when my toes come in contact with cold, hardwood floor. I thought this room had carpet the last time I was here. I look back at Carl and see the fur on his brow crinkling up at the bright sunshine.
Something's off.
What?
Something's wrong.
I feel the beginnings of that sinking sensation in my chest again. Why?
The room's too big.
I look around. I guess it looks a bit bigger than usual. The balcony seems to be the right size, though.
And the floor.
He points at my feet.
Where's the carpet?
Carl conforms. Carl confirms my suspicions. The dread continues to grow in my stomach.
Maybe they took the carpet out while we were gone.
No one responds to that ridiculous idea. Jenna looks at the wall behind the bed and reaches out a hand to touch it tentatively. Carl pushes himself off the bed, his hooves clopping loudly, unnervingly against the hardwood floor that shouldn't exist. Fuck!
Yeah. Fuck.
He reaches out to give me some support.
Well, fuck!
Everyone has a turn. Jenna turns.
Everyone has a... Yeah, go ahead.
Jenna turns to us. Fuck!
Well, maybe there are other people here.
Well, here we are. Even
Huh?
Rave.
Here we are. Even Julian's here. Well, fuck!
But Julian's possessed by something.
Everyone just kind of slides in. The entire team just like comes in.
Yep, TJ comes in. Hey guys.
Hey, guys.
Fuck!
Hey, guys. Fuck! Oh, God! TJ cussed.
What did I say? Even Raven's cheerful tone is forced and strained. I guess I was expecting that we'd end up in another dream world or whatever. But the fact that I thought for just a moment that we were back in the real world has made this all the more soul-crushing. It feels like those fucking ghosts are toying with us at this point. I take a deep breath, willing myself to not lose it. Not yet, at least.
Let's move to the deck.
I get a better grip onto Carl's onto Carl's side as he starts to move towards the glass doors, his hooves clopping while I hop along. He stares out, slowly reaching up with a hand to tug at the handle. To my surprise, it opens. I guess I thought that it would be the same as the last place we were in, that we'd be locked in or something. I follow Carl as he steps out into the balcony, taking slow, careful steps, as I'm afraid that the deck may give out. The air is hot and heavy, almost humid. That isn't normal in Echo at all. Sure, it would get really hot, but it's a desert. Humidity is near non-existent. We reach the railing and stare out at the town below the foothills that Carl's mansion sits on. I take in a soft breath. Just like in the dream I'd had, the ruins of Echo aren't ruins anymore. Dozens of old-fashioned wooden buildings dot the edge of the lake. A little ways away I see the familiar buildings of the motel and supermarket, along with the small neighborhood of my childhood. And along Main Street I see a few buildings that I don't recognize. Not quite as old-fashioned as the buildings along the lake, but still pretty old-looking. Carl lets out what could be a grunt next to me. What do you think? That's when something clicks. I move closer to his side, putting my shoulder against his. Listen, I saw this in a dream, and I think they were trying to tell me something.
What dream?
A dream I had before I woke up. I have them almost every time we pass out. Why are you the only one having these dreams? I jump as Jenna speaks right behind me. I turn around, finding her eyeing me suspiciously. I don't know. None of you had any dreams?
I did!
Raven pops his head from around the glass doors, still with that bizarrely resilient grin on his face.
But it was about that black shadow creature thing chasing me through the kitchen. So, I guess it's not really useful.
What did you see in your dream, Chase?
Well, this. I wave my hand out at the alternate reality town. But then the mine, too. Like, red stuff spread out of it, over the town. Then I saw a noose. I instinctively look over the edge of the balcony, down towards where I remember seeing the tree. Carl looks too.
What is it?
Well, I saw a tree with a noose on it. Carl looks slowly back up at me.
Down there?
I think so.
Was anyone in that noose?
No, it was empty. It seems like Carl should have something to add to that, but he doesn't say anything more. I take a deep breath, trying to put what I feel into words. That dream, the way it zeroed in on the tree, it felt meaningful. I think we need to go to it.
Why's that?
Carl narrows his eyes at me, and I feel like he's putting me under a magnifying glass. I don't know, but I don't see where else to start. This place is massive.
You're thinking there's a letter there?
Maybe?
Guys?
I turn around. Raven is still standing by the glass door, but he's looking back into the room.
Jenna left.
What? Sure enough, Jenna is nowhere to be seen. Where did she go? Raven shrugs.
Downstairs, I guess.
Was she going to the tree? I'm grabbed from behind by Carl, roughly, and he starts pushing me along. Carl? He doesn't look up. Carl, we need to keep moving.
Come on, we both know she's not right in the head right now.
Neither of you are, I don't say. I'm glad he's moving us along, but I don't like the dull look in his eyes one bit. Raven, Carl, and I head down the hall towards the stairs. Carl's right. It's like a dream of Carl's house. Carl mentions that there are a few extra doors, all of which lead into bare hardwood floor rooms. Ground level of the house the ground level of the house, though, looks mostly normal. As we make our way through Carl's sort of home, I realize something. You guys hear the trains when we were on the deck?
Maybe. Why?
I thought I did. Just kind of weird. Like, what are those trains doing in a world that isn't real?
Maybe it is real.
Maybe. I'm not convinced. As we pass through the living room, I can see that it is set up like it always was, and the kitchen looks to be in order as well. As we step outside, I notice that the mansion looks the same for the most part, not the massive old look that it had in my dream. I hop along down the curving driveway from Carl's house like I remember in my dream. How Jenna would be able to find the tree on her own is beyond me. The only indication I had given her as to where it was a glance over the railing of the deck. This place feels so close to being home, but none of it is home. I slow my pace as I turn right and at the end of Carl's driveway, but the ram starts tugging me along. We move the short distance down the road, then move to the edge on the left side of the road. I look down over the side onto the rocky sagebrush covered slope, and there's Jenna. Somehow, she immediately found it on her own. That old rickety wooden platform sits under the tree, and this tree and platform definitely aren't in the real echo. There are a few scant mentions of a hanging tree in my research. If it was still standing, I'd have gone to get some film for my project. That project seems like something I was working on years ago at this point. I carefully start to climb down the slope, clinging to Carl. I'm about to call out to Jenna when I stop cold. As I moved to the side, the thick trunk of the tree shifted in my field of view and revealed the noose. Unlike my dream, the noose isn't empty. Hanging from the noose is a body. From where I'm standing, I can't see exactly what it is. Its back is to us, and all I can make out is a head, hands and feet. Some old-fashioned clothes, overalls, and a cotton shirt of some kind. The clothes look worn and old, like they've been sitting out in the elements for years. I stop moving, instead staring at the body. Carl freezes, too, and I can feel his ragged breathing in my ear. I stare for what feels like an entire minute before I find my voice. Jenna? She's also facing the body, so I can't see her face, but she holds up a hand towards me to quiet me before slowly pacing around the platform. All employees evacuate the platform. All employees.
All employees.
To the evacuation platform. It looks like she's moving towards the front, so I steel myself and slowly follow her. I don't want to look at the body as I move, but I can't tear my eyes away. It's old. Very old. The fur is mostly gone, the skin underneath black and leathery. The face is drooping and sunken, the eyelids closed. It's been out in the sun for a very long time. I don't know much about corpses, so I don't know how long. I just know it's been a very long time. From what I can tell, it's a canine of sorts. A fox? John? For some reason, I look towards Jenna to see if she'll let us know who it is. She doesn't, instead just staring at the body. Carl tightens his grip around my shoulders. I'm not sure if it's for support against the uneven ground or the horror in front of us. Raven has chosen not to follow. Instead, he stands back behind the platform, looking away from the body. I swallow hard, trying to keep my nerves under control, trying to look at the situation like it's a simple task. Do you guys see anything? A note or something? I tried to search the platform and avoid looking at the corpse.
The mouth.
Carl points up at the corpse. He's right. There's a flash of white in the mouth of the corpse, just barely sticking out from what look like gnarled teeth. A piece of paper, maybe? I'm surprised at how successful I am at keeping my voice calm. I sort of feel a little numb to it all now. But I think we both realize at the same time what this means. That we're going to have to actually get that piece of paper.
Such a tedious way of telling us things, hmm?
I glance at Carl. Yeah, kinda. Should we go up and grab it? But as soon as I talk, Carl's making his way towards the platform, dragging me along like I'm an afterthought. Hey, I think Chase should get it. He's the one having all the dreams.
Shut up, Jenna.
Whoa, Carl! He clops his way up the steps, and I feel Jenna hovering behind me like she wants to follow but can't. I let Carl hold my hand as we both move towards the platform over uneven ground. I notice Raven standing off to the side, still facing away from us. I'd have to check on him later. The wood creaks softly under our feet as we make our way up the steps. I focus on my hopping foot, not wanting to look at the body. Once we reach the top, though, I realize that I'm going to have to. Leaning heavily against Carl for support, I look up. The corpse's eyes are open now. Two yellow, piercing eyes that are sunken deep in the skull stare back at me. You are disgusting. I'm disgusting? You are abhorrent, despicable, horrible. What telling truths? What telling your own truth? You don't know my story, my truth. Your truth is a delusion. You cruel, filthy son of a bitch. What do you want from me? I want justice. And you and your people don't know the meaning of the word. Just let me rest. Let me rest. And you leave me restless, murderer. You may not have killed me physically, but you murdered my life, you fucking. The altar hears us. So, If he hears us, then it wants him to. Why does it? You think I know? You think I know? Why does it create these places? Let us do small things, then take it away. It's a game. My life, my reputation is a game to it. A game. Go on. Why don't you tell him the truth? The otter works with you. I wouldn't help him even if I could. But you can't, can you? You are but smoke. Good thing, too. You and your fucking lies. I will tell him this. Otter, you are stuck here because you cannot see the truth until you do. And until you do, how will he know the truth if you only lie? You are disgusting. I'm 9 or 10 and I'm sitting under a tree in the forest. I like the feeling you get when you're finished crying. The stuffed up nose and throbbing in my head, along with the feeling of just having run 10 miles. Like I've just finished something really hard and now it's over. And then a creak in the branches above me. I look up and see a fox hanging from a rope. His dead eyes are on me. Wait.
He's been yamshed. Why don't you get your ass up there and dig it out yourself then?
He's awake.
Chase?
A big hand is cradled below my head as I stare at the horns waving above my eyes. Between them hangs the fox.
Hey, what happened?
What happened?
What happened?
What happened?
Hey, what happened? What happened? Those eyes fell. Looking at the chat. What happened?
I don't know. There were eyes? I stare harder at the fox, but the eyes are closed.
Yeah, it's all the same thing. You hit your head.
That would explain the headache. My head throbs with each heartbeat. Why didn't you grab the letter, Chase? Carl makes a thick snorting sound behind me, like he's holding back a disdainful laugh.
You'd like that, wouldn't you? I told you to dig it out yourself if you want.
Dig out what? Dig what out? I crane my head painfully to look at Jenna. She stands in the exact same spot, staring stoically. Raven has moved to stand next to her, but now his eyes are wide, staring at the fox. I turn my head back around towards the hanging fox, and that's when I see that the letter's gone. Where did it go? I push myself up, cringing as I once again forget about my ankle. As I try to stand, Carl sort of yanks me up. I keep my eyes on the fox the entire time, but I don't see any signs of life. What happened?
You fell.
No, the fox. What happened to the letter? He ate it. What? How?
The corpse swallowed it.
Carl's free hand gestures at his mouth. God. I lean my forehead against the ram's cheek as I close my eyes.
So, are we not supposed to read it?
Raven's voice is small and quiet. Nothing like his usual self, even during the time we've spent here. No one says anything for a while. I clear my throat. I think I heard John and James while I was out.
What did they say?
I think John and James, they're influencing some of this, but there's something else controlling all of it.
How?
I don't know, but it's stopping them from telling us what they want to say. Like, this is a game for it. I feel Carl shake his head against my head.
So what are we supposed to do?
Just figure out the game, I guess. They said something about having to see the truth, but I'm not exactly sure what that is.
Well, John just ate our clue.
How do you know it was John? Jenna snaps loudly at Carl, and the ram turns to confront her.
It's on his name tag.
Yeah, can't you see it? It says hi. It says hello. My name is
Stupid idiot.
John.
Hello, my name is John.
Yeah, bitch.
Fox bitch. Who else's body is this then?
He's dead.
That doesn't seem to matter here, does it?
Guys, I point. What's that?
What?
That, sticking out of the chest pocket. Carl moves a little closer, pulling me along tentatively. Raven calls anxiously from behind us.
What are you guys doing?
Again, with that weird dismissive grunt. I keep my eyes focused on the pocket, not wanting to look at those eyes if they open again. Carl reaches out and simply plucks the note from the pocket.
Okay, let's go.
Carl quickly guides me down the stairs. He glides me down the stairs.
Punch you like a football.
Yep, he just picks up Chase and Chase holds his arms and his legs out straight and just tosses him down the stairs.
Like a kobold.
he just glides. This is Echo after all. Jenna eyes what is in Carl's hand suspiciously. What's that?
One of the letters. One of the letters, obviously.
Where did you get that? The fox ate it earlier. I saw it sticking out of the pocket. I guess there was another one. Jenica's quiet and her expression darkens. I'm about to ask her what's wrong, but Carl's already unfolding the paper, swinging the hand holding it to try and make it unfold. I help him out with my own free hand and hold the letter between us. I notice that the bottom of the paper has a rough tear, like somebody has torn it in half. Jenna and Raven move in closer opposite us. It doesn't look like a letter. In fact, it looks like a newspaper clipping. Well, a photocopied one, anyway. Carl, I think this came from your mom's collection of artifacts. I think I remember some pages were ripped out of the scrapbooks.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was you taking them.
Nope.
I wonder how long ago this nightmare actually started. It seems that it had been setting itself up for days before we fell into this place. Well, I guess I'll give it a read. Hopefully this is the one. I start with the big bold title. Echo, researcher uncovers town's serial killer past. Most might know Trisha Hendricks as the CEO of Hen's Ice Cream, but Echo locals know her to be an avid history buff as well. I just love how it connects all of us, how it shows that everything has happened for a reason. But even she didn't realize what her research would uncover. According to Hendricks, the town's founder, James, had an affair with another man, and both may have been hiding a dark secret. You never know what you'll find out, but to think that James had a homosexual relationship with an alleged serial killer, well, it's really something. According to the Hendricks research, James may have been in a romantic relationship with a native fox by the name of John Begay. No. Carl's totally the serial killer, and Begay was innocent. He was just scapegoated, for sure. Town records indicate that Begay was accused of committing multiple child murders. Hendricks says the crimes were sexual in nature. I reach the bottom of the page where the rough tear begins. Clearly, there's more to the article, but...
Jenna!
I look up just in time to see a flash of steel before Carl jumps back, pulling me along with him. I'm like a rag doll being yanked back before being thrown to the side. I go stumbling away with several yelps, each one in sync with the steps I take on my swollen ankle. I finally go down as gently as I can on my hands and knees as the pain almost blinds me. The sound of quick footsteps and gravel along with a loud laugh as me raising my head back up to see what's going on. Through the tears I see Carl dancing around, dodging back and forth as Jenna swipes at him with the knife. The laughing is coming from Carl as he leaps out of the way with a nimbleness I've never seen him have.
Whoops! Almost had me there!
Carl easily ducks around another slash in the fox. Jenna, on the other hand, isn't saying anything. Instead, her eyes are locked on Carl, teeth grit with what looks like foam gathering from the corners of her mouth. I suddenly comprehend what I'm seeing. One of my friends trying to kill the other. Jenna, stop! I push myself unsteadily to my feet, trying to limp after them. But it's not much use. They're both moving so fast away from me, around me, as they continue their little dance. Even Raven seems too shocked to move, backing away as the other two fight past him. Carl! Jenna! I look around for something, anything to get this to stop, but Jenna seems hell-bent on stabbing Carl.
You were always a terrible fighter, you know that?
Carl dodges to the side again and snatches up the wrist of the paw that's holding the knife. In one swift movement, Carl uses his other hand to punch Jenna across the face, sending the fox to the ground in a heap. The cracking sound it makes almost makes my fur stand up all over my body as I limp towards Jenna. Guys, that's enough! I'm looking for the knife. I just want to get it away from Jenna before she can hurt anyone else or herself. But Carl's already standing next to her. He bends down to pick up a rock. It's about the size of a softball and has a pointy end on it. He points it down and raises it over Jenna. Carl! I lunge at the ram and tackle him around the waist. He must have been completely focused on Jenna because I'm able to knock him over pretty easily. He makes an sound. He makes a sound.
It's that classic sound.
Yeah.
Oof!
Sound above me before we crash into the ground. What the fuck are you doing? I push myself over the ram, reaching above us to try and pry the rock from his hand. Desperately, I look behind me. Raven! Get Jenna! Get her away somewhere! Raven's standing there, pulling at his ears as he stares at the fox on the ground. Help her! I look back down at Carl and he's staring right back at me, breathing hard. Carl? I call his name, but not only do I get a response, but also because I'm not sure who I'm talking to. He doesn't say anything. He just goes on staring at me. But he does let go of the rock and it rolls gently from his hand to the desert floor. Carl, let's go back inside, okay? I use a delicate tone, feeling like I'm talking to an unhinged stranger. Carl stares at me a moment longer, then lets out a soft huff through his nose with a half laugh.
Yeah. Sure. It's like
You're-
John Wick. Yeah. Sure.
You're done, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to let you up and we're going back to your house, okay?
Yep.
Slowly I get up, standing in the way of Jenna in case Carl goes for her. I look back at Raven. Pick up the knife, throw it into the desert or something. I lower my voice, stepping back a bit so I can lean towards Oski, even though I feel Carl's eyes are on me. Take her down to the basement and I'll take Carl upstairs. We'll figure something out later, okay?
Oh, okay.
I turn back to Carl and then reach my hand out towards him. Dude, my ankle is so fucked. Can you help me get up to the bedroom? Carl lets out a grunt, then another half-laugh snort.
Sure.
He reaches out to me, eyes glancing down at the crumpled box as he does. I can hear Jenna stirring a bit, so I gently push into Carl to hurry our trek back to the mansion. I glance back a few times. Last time I see Raven crouched over Jenna, mouth moving as he talks to her.